Thank you so much, Nicole, for sitting down with us and sharing a little bit about yourself and ultimately why you think it's important to have a training program available to all Canadians about being with and ultimately capturing the story of people they're visiting with and being volunteers in their communities and being active, dedicated members of their communities.
Sure. So I think one of the things that we've lost in our society is this interconnectedness, this sense of being connected and knowing how to accompany people. And it seems like it should be something that comes naturally, but it isn't. You know, when we used to live with our aunts and uncles and grandparents and we had that wider network of social cohesion, it was just passed down kind of in our DNA, in the general milieu of how we grew up. But that's not the case anymore. People are so much more isolated, so much more separated from family members that we almost have to relearn how to accompany each other. And I think that is something that your program is so geared towards and so special, that it allows people to relearn those skills and then to use them in a way to really rebuild the fabric of our society. And honestly, I think that's going to make such a huge difference for us in Canada.
Beautiful.
Okay.
We are also launching, in addition to the Being With My Story training, we have a patient advocacy program, which is a little bit short, it's only 2 hours.
Okay.
But we find it's important to have advocates,
Yes.
especially in the medical establishments and institutions across Canada. You don't have to necessarily have a medical background or legal background, but you have a person who cares enough
Yes.
to be present
Yes.
with someone as an advocate. What do you say, coming from your perspective and your background as well and experience, how important it is to have an advocate in the medical
Sure.
experience?
So I would say one of the things that we always tell people is never go to the hospital alone. When you are sick, you are vulnerable. It's hard to process information. It's hard to navigate or even advocate for yourself. So you really need someone walking with you. And having an advocate makes all the difference in the world, because you have someone who can speak for you, who can listen for you, who can be there for you. And I also think it helps the healthcare team take better care of you if they have someone advocating for you, speaking your needs, being present with you. It makes a huge difference. So that would be my biggest advice for people, is never go to the hospital alone, and having a trained advocate to go with you. They don't have to have medical training. They need to be a human being that cares. And then if they have that ability to listen and to communicate, which would obviously be enhanced by the program that you have, would be really helpful.
Excellent, thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree. And then the final thing I just wanted to ask you is, how, in your experience, have Canadians fared, especially after COVID and seniors? We did a survey of Canadians.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you're aware of, we've surveyed over 500 Canadians across Canada at the tail end of COVID and finally after COVID has finished.
Right.
And we found that the general consensus was that if someone had one significant person in their life, be it a dog, a pet, their belief system, or a spouse, even a friendly visitor that came in,
Yes.
once a month, that's what got them through COVID, and it proved to be positive experience for them ultimately. What do you say in terms of a response to Canadians to be with one another now more than ever?
So one of the problems with COVID is it really isolated us, and it was particularly problematic for seniors. So some of the work that I do, we provide programming for senior care, and many of the residences just went into full-time lockdown. And so people were in their rooms by themselves. There were things slipped under the doors. It was so isolating, it was so hard. And we're almost still traumatized from that, right? It's very hard for people to pick up to normal social life like it was before COVID. So COVID was a real trauma event in our country, and I think we have to work hard to get past that. And many seniors are very, very isolated. Some of them are still very fearful from kind of picking up viruses and what that might do to their health, because their immune system may be compromised, and so they're reluctant to go out. And so we really need to reach out to them and make it easy for them to connect with us and to become part of the human family and not really be isolated on their own. So I think that's something that your program can do so well, is to start building those bridges in a way that's not necessarily too intimidating, like in your face, like it's a phone call, but it's a way to start and to help recreate those human connections that are so vital to human flourishing.
Perfect. Thank you. The last thing I want to say is, if you could do a call for action from volunteers to actually be participating in visiting,
Yes.
but more so even just to make calls across Canada, what would you say to them? Why would you say this is important and to go part of doing any type of work in the community?
Okay. So I think all of us have a responsibility to build the social fabric of our community. And this is one way, like one very small way that you can make a difference. And you may feel like it's not very much, but it is something, like taking half an hour to make some phone calls, taking an afternoon once a month to go and visit. Like those things, like, yes, it's generosity on your part, but honestly, you'll get much more back in what you gain from that friendship, from that reaching out. It improves you as a person, but it also gives you like such satisfaction and really gives meaning to your life. I know one woman who had dementia who I became really good friends with. I thought, yeah, I'm doing something for her, but wow, is she ever doing something for me? Like she really helped me grow as a person, and I really treasured that friendship.
Excellent. Love it. Thank you
Okay.
so much.
You're
Nicole.
welcome. Okay.